Good morning, students. Hope all are well. Myself, Mr. Prosen Dias, will be teaching science for this year online Google classes. So let's start with the first chapter of Science 1, Chapter 1, Gravitation. Now, when you heard the word gravitation, what comes in our mind? What is the gravitation? Have you heard about what is the gravitation? Because we are studying this gravitation from the standard 8, we are little bit part of gravitation. So when we say the word gravitation, does something comes in your mind? Yeah, so it's a one type of a force, so it is a type of force. Okay, so up to now we all know that the gravitation is nothing but a type of a force. So now as we come across the word force, so first we'll discuss about the force, then we'll talk about gravitation. So now force, what do you mean by force? What is the word force means? So again, as you have studied in a ninth standard, so force is a physical quantity which changes or tends to change the state of object. See, I'm reading once again. It is a physical quantity which changes or tends to change the state of object. It is changes. Changes means you understood. It is going to change the state of object from one to other. Means we know that what are the different state. The object can be stationary. The object is moving. It is going to. This is what its physical state. Chemical changes state will be also present. So that is what it's going to change the state. Suppose if you're going to consider the object is moving, come to the rest, means there is a change in the state, that from the motion it comes to the rest. Then another exam you're having, that is or tends to. What do you mean by this tends to? So tends to means it is trying to change the state but it is not changing. So force is not only that physical quantity which changes, it is the type of, it is can tends to change also. Means suppose if you discuss the example, if there is any cupboard in your room, you are pushing that cupboard but that cupboard is not moving. Okay, you are pushing that cupboard but the cupboard is not moving, means it is in a rest and it remains in a rest position. Now you call your brother or some of a friend and ask, and you both of you are pushing, and that time the cupboard is moving, means what, the cupboard changed its state. It was in a rest, it changed, started in motion, it's gone in a motion, means it's changing. Correct. And earlier when you alone are pushing, that time the cupboard is not moving, but you are applying the force, means you are trying, means that is what we call it as a tends to change. Okay, and therefore we define the force is nothing but the physical quantity which changes or tends to change the state of a object. Now we have a next part, that when the force is applied on any object, thus there are going to be a certain changes. And what are that changes? So that is what called as the effects of forces. When force is applied on an object, the object is going to happen something, there is going to change something, and that is what we call it as a effects of force. In that we are having the first part, that is to set the object in a motion. So when you apply the force on object, what you are doing, you set the object in motion, means the object which is in a rest, you allow it to motion, it you are make it moving. As we discussed the just now example, the cupboard which is in a rest position, when you apply the force it start moving, means it is in a motion. Or another example, as you can say, bicycle is at rest, when you sit on it and start pedaling, the object is in a motion. So that is what this is say as a to set the object in motion. Second, we are having to bring the moving object in a rest. The object which is moving, we bring them in a rest by applying the force. Again, as an example, suppose you are moving on the bicycle, suddenly you find some of your relative or some of your friend, what you do, you are applying a brake, and as soon as you apply the brake to the bicycle stops, means the object which is in motion, that comes to the rest. Next, we are having to increase the speed of a motion. The object may be moving in a particular speed, and by applying a force you can speed up the motion. Again, same example, you are moving with a certain speed on a bicycle. You saw from long distance that some of your friend is moving ahead. So now to reach next to that your friend, what you are going to do, you are going to increase your speed. How you will be increasing your speed? You are going to increase the pedaling, means you are going to apply the force. Next, we are having to change the direction of motion. The direction of the motion can be changed using the force. Another example, again, you can see same thing. You are moving on the bicycle, and now your home or is on the way, and you want to go inside the house parking. So you are going to do the change your direction. You are going to change the direction of your bicycle. Or another example, you can say, suppose you are playing the football. Your friend has kicked the football towards you. It is coming suppose towards you. When you are going to kick, it will be changing its direction. It will be moving towards your friend, or it may be somewhere else, means the direction has changed. Clear? And the last one you're having, that is to change the shape and size of a object. You can change the shape and the size of the object. That is, you can take another example. Take a rubber band, stretch it. You can see its shape and the size has changed. Take a sponge, press it, crush it in your hand. You can see the shape and size has changed. So that is what the you can see when the force is applied, and that is what we all say as a effects of force. Now we come to the next part, that is a types of forces. What are the different types of forces we are having, and in that the main classification of force is done based on the contact forces and the non-contact forces. Now what do you mean by contact forces and non-contact forces? So contact forces means the object on which the force is applied and the person or the object who is applying the force, they both are in a contact to each other. That is what we call it as a contact forces. And non-contact forces means these forces are not going to be applied when they are in contact. Even without a contact also these forces can be applied, means the object on which the force is applied and the person who is applying the force, they are not in a contact, then also the forces will be applied. So you people just think of some examples in your mind. Can you give me the example of contact forces and non-contact? So see, contact forces means pulling, pushing. You are going to pull, push, or kicking. You are pulling means you are going to put your hand on that table or the some other object, and you are going to pull means you and that object is in a contact. Pushing, same thing. Kicking, as we discussed just now. Football, you are going to kick. So your leg and ball, they are in a contact. So that is what you are going to have a contact force. And non-contact forces, as we said, there is no contact between that, and that examples are magnetic field, magnet force. Magnet, you take some iron filings, hold a magnet little away from that. Does that magnet and the iron filings are in contact? No, you're just holding on that. You can see they are pulled and stick to the magnet. So that is what a non-contact force. And in that non-contact force we are getting one type, that is what a gravitational force, which we are going to discuss. And then you're having electrostatic force. That is, again, you can take an example. Just take a plastic rule, rub it on your hair, and catch near the piece of papers. You can see the papers are attracted. So that is what your electrostatic force. Hope you people have under. Now we will move to the next part of the chapter, which is the very important, as the name says, that is a gravitation. So what is a gravitation now? So as again you have discussed this definition in ninth standard also. This definition is given to us by the Newton. And what the Newton says, it is a force of attraction acting between two objects in the universe. Okay, it is a force of attraction. It is going to be attraction and acting between the two objects in the universe. Means you can take any two objects in the universe, there will be force of attraction between them, and that is called as a gravitation. Who has discovered? As we discussed said, now it is discovered by the Sir Isaac Newton. The gravitation concept is first put up forward or the discovered by the Sir Isaac Newton. And how he has discovered this? So he has discovered, there is a story is going on telling about a invention of gravitation, and that story says that it is derived by the seeing an apple fall from a tree. The story says that when the Newton is sitting under the apple tree, the apple falls down. And that time he started thinking why the apple is fall down, and from there is started the invention of gravitation. Okay, so what is the gravitation? It is a force of attraction acting between two objects in the universe. Who has discovered? So it is discovered by the Sir Isaac Newton. And how he discovered that? So it is discovered by seeing an apple fall from a tree. So as the story says, when the apple fall from the tree, there are different questions come in the mind of the Sir Isaac Newton. And this is what the scientific mind, whenever things happen, when people thinks why this happened, that is what called as a scientific mind. If you have something is happen, okay, you are going to take it as it is. How happen, okay, chalo. If suppose instead of a Newton, someone else was sitting, he saw apple is fallen, okay, अच्छा हुआ मेरे को खाने को मिल गया. He has pick up the apple and ate the apple and finish the thing. No, he started thinking about why that apple is fallen down. So that is what the different questions come in the mind. So in that the first question the Newton thought. So what the first question he thought? So the why an apple fall vertically downward? Why not an angle to vertical or not fly off in a horizontal direction? So that is what the first question comes in a mind. Why the apple is fallen downward only? When the apple, you know that when is we see any fruit, it is hanging on the tree. Then he is thinking why that apple is fall vertically down. Why it is come straight vertically downward? Why it is not fall at an angle, or why doesn't it fly off horizontally? Okay, so what is the answer for that? After thinking lot, what the answer he gave? The earth must be attracting the apple towards itself, and this attractive force must be directed towards the center of the earth. Okay, now why the vertically apple? Why the apple fall vertically downward? So reason is Newton says that the earth must be attracting, because as we said the gravitation, so it's a attraction force between the apple and the earth. So earth will be attracting the apple towards itself, and this attractive force must be directed towards the center of the earth. And why it is falling vertically downward? So because the force will be directed towards the center of the earth. We know that the center of the earth is on the down only, correct? And therefore the apple falls vertically downward. The direction from the apple to the center of the earth is vertical, and thus apple falls vertically downward. Okay, so whatever the question he got in mind, why it is falling vertically downward, why does not it fly away horizontally or with an angle? So the reason is, as the definition says, the gravitation, the earth must be attracting the apple towards the itself. First point. And second, the force by which the earth is going to attract, that force will be acting towards the center of the earth, and therefore the apple is falling vertically downward. The second question come in the mind, and to understand this one, before that, to understand this question 1, you can see the diagram on page number 1, figure 1.1. You can see the diagram. The apple tree is shown there on the earth, and how the apple is falling. It is vertically downward. Why? Because the force is acting towards the center of earth. To get a clear idea, just go through the picture. Second question you got in mind, that is the force of gravitation acts on apple at different height on a tree from the surface of earth. Can it acts on objects like moon or other planets and sun? Now the second question is getting in mind. Now apple he found out, okay, why it is vertically fall down, everything clear. Now as you can see in the again diagram in the book, above the tree there is a moon is shown, and that is what the second question is coming in the mind of a Newton, that when the apple is attracted towards the earth due to the gravitational force, does this gravitational force is acting between the moon or the other objects like a planet? Because as you can see again on the apple tree, all the apples are not at the same height, they are at a different heights. So from every different height, the apples are going to attracted by the earth's gravitational force, means at a different height the gravitational force is acting. So will it act on the objects like a planet or the moon? And the reason answer for that is a yes. Okay, so the gravitational force of earth is acting between on the moon and the earth, or the planet and the earth also. Clear? Now we are going to have a next part, that is a circular motion. Again, this part also somehow you have studied in the ninth standard, the circular motion. Now again, just split the word. Motion means, it is a movement. When the object is moving, that is what we say as a motion. And what is a circular motion? The circular means circle. So circle means when the object moves in a circular path, it is called as a circular motion. Okay, so just read the definition. When object moves along the circular path, the motion is called the circular motion. When the object will be moving along the circular path in the circle, we can see so many parks also. Hmm? They are in a circular part. So whenever we go for the morning walk, you are going to complete the circle. So you are moving along the circular path. So that is what we call it as a circular motion. Okay, example, that is motion of wheel of vehicle, rotation of planets in our solar system. We know that our solar system has a sun in the middle, and all the planets are revolving around the sun, so that is also a circular motion. The wheels of the vehicle, they are also moving in a circular path. You can see a rotation of fan in a house. Right now where you are sitting in the house, you may have a fan rotating, so that blades of the fans are also in a circular motion. Which force is responsible for that circular motion? So the force which is going to be responsible here, that is going to be called as a centripetal force. So before going to that centripetal force, first discuss about a circular motion. So in circular motion, the force always acts towards the center. Correct, remember these points whenever we talk about a circular motion. So the circular motion, the force is always acting towards the center. It is going to be always towards the center, means it is not outside, it is inside. So therefore, if you can see, if whenever you are driving the bicycle or the any bike around a curve path, you can see you are getting bended inside. Why? Because the force is acting towards the center. Second, the direction of motion is tangential to its position. Whenever you are in a circular motion, the position of the object, the direction of a motion, the direction means the object tries to move in which direction, so it is always tangential to its position. We'll discuss in the diagram further. Okay, so direction of motion is always tangential to its position, and the direction of motion changes at every point. In a circular motion, the direction of the motion is changes at every point. Let's see the diagram, you will get a clear idea. Okay, so see, this is what a circle is shown, that is what your circular motion. This is a center. Okay, 1 minute. This part, this is what your center you are having. You are at this position. Okay, at this position you will be. When you at this position moving in this circular path, you can see the direction of force is always towards the center, means you will force will be acting towards the center. Direction of motion will be, you can see this line is nothing but tangential. The direction of motion is always in this line. Correct, but when you at this position, the direction is like this, in this direction. But when you will come at this position, your direction will be changing, it will be going like this in tangential. We will be saying that it will be going in this direction. So at this position it will be this. Correct, but does the object moves in this line? No, it is coming in this direction. Correct, at this position it will be moving in this direction. Means as the 3 point says, the force is acting always toward the center, the motion is always, the direction of motion is tangential, and the direction of the motion is changing at every point in a circular motion. So remember these 3 point in circular motion. Whenever object is in circular motion, means it moves in a circular path. What is the direction of force? So direction of force is always towards the center. What is the direction of motion? It is tangential to its position. And in circular motion, the direction of motion is changes at every point. So if you see in the book, the diagram, there are the green arrow is shown. That is the nothing but the direction of force, which is inside towards the center. Then there is a red arrow. that shows the direction of motion, and you can see a red curve that is shows the changing direction. Okay, so this is what about a circular motion. Now let's talk about the force which is responsible for circular motion. And as I said earlier, that a force which is responsible is nothing but a centripetal force. The force which is responsible for circular motion, it is called centripetal force. This force is also called as center seeking. Center seeking means it is acting towards the center. So definition, a force acts on any object moving along a circle and it is directed towards the center of the circle. Okay, so what is the centripetal force? So it's a force which acts on any object. It is going to act on any object which are moving along a circle. When the object is in a circle, means you have to remember that there is a force which is acting. That force is always called as a centripetal force, and that force is always directed towards the center of circle. Example, tie a stone to one end of a string, hold the other end in your hand and rotate the string. Now to study that, you can see in the book also the example is given. So you can do at home. Take a string, tie a small stone and one end of the string which is free that you catch in your hand and uh, catching little above your head, as you can see in a diagram, start rotating. You can see the stone will be following a circular path, so that is nothing but your circular motion. And the stone, the string which is tied to stone, it is toward and it is other end is in your hand, means that length of the string which is your hand, that is nothing but the direction of a force. It gives the direction of force. So which motion a stone undergoes and due to which force? So as we discussed, when you are tying the stone and rotating above your head, you can see it is moving in the circular motion. So the stone undergoes which motion? Circular motion, and due to which force? So as we discussed just now, the motion is circular motion is because of centripetal force. So the force is a centripetal force. So answer, a stone undergoes circular motion due to the centripetal force. How will you stop this force and what will be the effect on the stone? Now if you are going to, until how long the stone will be rotating in the circular motion above your head? Until you are going to catch the string in your hand and you are going to rotate. Once you are going to leave the string, you can see that force acting will be stopped and the circular motion of the stone will be stopped. I'm not saying the motion of the stone is stopped. Stone will not be come to rest. The circular motion will be stopped, but what will happen to the stone? So stone will fly off in a tangential position. At what position it will be, and when you are going to leave the string from your hand, you can see from that position the stone will be moving in a straight line. You can practice that at your home. Just do that activity by taking care in open space. Just take a stone, tie a string and rotate it. Rotate for some time and then leave the string. You can see the stone will be flying tangentially off, means in a straight direction. So if we release the string, the centripetal force will be stopped. As I said, if you are going to leave the string, means the force which is acting towards center, that will be stopped. That is what we said as a centripetal force. And stone will fly off along a straight line tangential to its position. To understand this, how it is happening, you can see these YouTube videos. Just see these links on the YouTube and try to get clear idea about the circular motion and the centripetal force. Now, as the moon revolve around the earth or other planets revolve around the sun, which force is responsible for it? Now, as we discussed two forces, gravitational force and the centripetal force. Correct? So, as we said, when the circular motion, so it is going to have a centripetal force, and as we discussed the gravitational force, so it is a attraction of the earth. So, when the moon or the earth moon revolve around the earth or other planets revolve around the sun, which force is responsible for them? So the earth attractive force acting on moon or sun's attractive force acting on the other planet is responsible for their motion in the orbit. Now see, whatever the earth's attractive force is there, because of that the moon will be moving in a circular orbit, or the sun's attractive force will be there, because of that the planet will be moving around the sun in a circular motion in their orbit. So there may be little bit confusion we have now. As sir said, was first that when the object is in circular motion, it's a centripetal force. And now when the moon is revolving around the earth in a circular path, sir is telling earth's attractive force. But understand the concept properly. Here the due to the earth's attractive force only, the moon will be moving. So moon will be attracted towards the earth. Okay, but does the moon fall on the earth? No, it is continuing the circular path. Then why it is continuing a circular path? So because of the centripetal force, means there is a together at earth's attractive force and the centripetal force both are acting together, and because of that the moon is revolving around the earth, or the planets are revolving around the sun. So to get clear idea, again you can see this YouTube video. So just click on this video and get a clear idea about that part of how the moon revolve around the earth, or the planets revolve around the sun. So here we have finished with the first concept of our chapter. We'll see the next part in the next